You can look, but don't touch takes on new meaning as the seasonal algae bloom takes over two of Arlington's beloved bodies of water.
Veterans of war spanning more than 50 years of our history speak about their experiences in a new series ACMi is proud to present.
And after months of nervous anticipation, the first day of school is upon us. Arlington parents share their hopes and concerns for the school year to come.
Presenting Arlington stories, this is ACMi News up next.
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered. We're your neighbors, a friend you can turn to. This is ACMi News.
Hello Arlington and welcome to ACMi News. I'm Katie Chang.
And I'm James Milan. And we welcome you to the first week of September, a time when workers, students, and others are fitting in last-second vacation trips to savor the waning days of summer.
And anticipating the start of a new school year, of course.
Speaking of which, Arlington students from K through 12 start on Thursday, September 9th. The Arlington School Committee released a return-to-school plan detailing their approach to student safety as the coronavirus stubbornly persists.
ACMi News correspondent Alexandria Acacia spoke to local parents about how they feel about the plan and the prospects for the year.
Soon, these hallways will be filled with Arlington students and staff, and that's because next week they plan to return to full in-person learning since March of last year due to COVID. And to prepare, the Arlington School Committee has been revising a plan that has requested parental feedback. So now the question is, what do they think? Locals are taking precautions as most students are gearing up to join millions of others across the country in starting school in person on September 9th. The district has established protocols to combat the spread of COVID-19 as students step away from their screens and into the classroom. The committee's back-to-school plan states that all students and staff must be masked up, but will not require them to be vaccinated. Unsure of how the plan will play out, some parents worry about their children getting infected through in-person contact.
So I think it's a good idea. I think everything that we can do to keep the kids safe is the #1 priority. It is a little nerve-wracking getting ready to send the kids back, but I do think that the school and teachers are doing everything that they can to make sure that safety is the #1 priority.
This past month has seen an uptick in cases in Arlington that has prompted concerns. The school will take precautions to slow down the spread, implementing health and safety protocols while making sure that students have a safe and exciting transition back. Parents have been notified and asked for their input, which will in turn help shape the regulations. While all of this is being worked out, parents have also taken their own measures to keep their children safe.
Kind of like every day when they get home, take off their clothes immediately into the hamper, shower right away, sanitize their shoes, everything, the clothes. So kind of we've been doing that.
Following CDC recommendations is an effective measure parents can take to keep their children safe outside of school. It's unclear how everything will shake out, but having a plan gives parents something they can rely on.
I hope that, all the precautions that are taken this year make things easier for next year and future years, and hopefully we can put this past us.
I hope they just have like a plan of like if they see that things are getting out of hand, I'd rather than be like straight up and honest with whatever is going on versus them just wanting to like have the kids all together, because now remote is not even an option anymore. It's like they have to be in school. So I hope that they just are honest about whatever's happening and cases going on. They're not hiding anything like that.
Parents will be notified immediately should any cases occur, which is a crucial part in the effort to keep everyone safe and not disrupt the academic year.
I really don't have any problems with it. I think if everyone just follows the rules, we can get through another school year and hopefully things will get better.
Now, the first day will also begin the first of many pool testings to target the virus found within the community. For ACMi News, I'm Alexandria Acacia.
Thank you, Alex. There are currently 2 active public health advisories issued by the Arlington Board of Health. Visible harmful algae blooms recently bubbled up in both Spy Pond and Hills Pond in Mononabee Rocks Park. The Board of Health is advising all residents and their pets to avoid all contact with the water until further notice. The town's Director of Public Health, Natasha Waden, explains why it's so important to heed this advisory.
The reason why we're concerned with the harmful algae bloom and we advise individuals to stay out of the water is simply just, even wading in the water, a direct skin contact could cause some sort of a rash. It could also, if it's ingested, especially by children and pets, small quantities can cause sort of gastrointestinal issues, and larger quantities could have more severe reactions such as neurological reactions. Typically with harmful algae blooms, they can last a few weeks or they can last months. We don't know because, there's a whole part of testing that has to take place. And typically the state would assist us on that. Once levels are, indicative that they're below the threshold for 2 consecutive weeks, then that's when the advisory could be lifted.
Harmful algae blooms are naturally occurring events in bodies of water that often take place at this time of year. Direct sunlight, warm weather, and nutrients are factors that contribute to its rapid growth. The Department of Health is advising residents not to feed birds and other animals, not to allow fertilizer or any other chemical components to run off into Spy Pond, and not to dispose of any animal waste into any of the ponds. There is no telling the extent of the algae blooms because of the ever-changing wind conditions and varying water flows. So it's strongly advised to avoid any part of the infected ponds.
Outside safety inspectors recently wrapped up their final week of safety checks and inspections of town-owned playgrounds. Inspectors say if there are issues that require their attention, some repair work may be necessary to ensure the safety of children and families. Arlington's Department of Public Works is overseeing the projects and apologizes for any inconvenience they might cause.
In the grander scheme of things, changes are coming to Arlington's transportation landscape with the Connect Arlington Sustainable Transportation Plan. Senior news producer Anim Osmani has the details.
The Connect Arlington Sustainable Transportation Plan is a 20-year strategy that ensures residents, visitors, and workers a reliable multimodal transportation network that accommodates people of all ages and abilities.
The plan's goals are to create a network that provides safe facilities, mobility options that meet everyone's needs, a pedestrian-first, walk-friendly environment, a low-stress biking experience and overall rich transit environment, and a system that reduces climate impacts from travel. Strategies to implement these goals include prioritizing improved safety at intersections and along road segments with the greatest pedestrian and bicyclist conflict, increasing access to bike and car shares throughout Arlington, and increasing bus frequency on the highest ridership bus routes to reduce crowding and provide greater comfort. The Select Board gave a strong endorsement to the plan, but also cited some concerns about the funding.
I heard a lot about transportation, about pedestrian priority, about bicycle safety, about traffic safety for cars. And I will say my first 3 to 4 months on the board, the thing I have heard the most about as a Select Board member from residents is traffic safety in neighborhoods and in our streets. And it all hangs together. There are safety concerns, there are critical climate change concerns, and even if all you care about is traffic congestion, we cannot solve this problem if we just keep digging in on car priority. All of those things will get worse. We have to be transformative. I think this is a guide that will help us do that. But to be clear-headed to the max, these projects need funding, and the town has very limited funds.
Similar to what Mr. Helmuth said, as our planning director said, there has to be a paradigm shift. There also has to do that not just with the Select Board, but with our legislative delegation in the State House, as well as the federal government.
And there's many parts of this plan that are goals to move forward. Some of them are large goals and some of them are easy to implement. And I look forward to what that will look like.
To be clear, the Select Board endorsed the plan. Further conversations will be held to fully implement the Connect Arlington Sustainable Transportation Plan. We won't see any immediate changes now, but we'll see incremental improvements to our transportation landscape over the next 20 years. For ACMi News, I'm Anim Osmani.
Now let's look ahead to a couple of events coming up, one of which is the Boston Women's Market.
This time, senior news producer Anim Osmani is in the studio to tell us more about what this event is and what we can expect.
Katie and James, the Boston Women's Market is an event that made its debut in Jamaica Plain in 2019, co-founded by two Massachusetts residents, Cara Lofredo and Africa Pastor. Since then, due to a great response, it has expanded to hosting such events as much as 3 times a month, serving the entire New England region. Fortunately, they established a base in Arlington in 2019, and after a brief forced hiatus for live markets in 2020, they are making a return to Uncle Sam's Plaza on Saturday, September 11th. I spoke with one of the co-founders, Cara Lofredo, who told me what the Boston Women's Market is all about.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me onto the show. I'm super happy to be here, and I'm super happy that Boston Women's Market is going to be returning to Arlington. The last time we popped up in Arlington was in 2019, and we were just so welcomed by the community that we knew we had to come back. For those of you that didn't get to experience the market in 2019, Boston Women's Market creates selling and learning opportunities for women entrepreneurs around the New England area. So vendors that you can expect at Boston Women's Market in Arlington range anything from woodworkers to jewelry makers. And they really embody a whole different variety of expertise and really unique craftsmanship and making.
Ms. Lofredo, I'd like to go a little bit more into the background of you and the Boston Women's Market. What is the upbringing of this kind of foundation that you've created and the opportunities you've created for many women around New England?
So since our start in 2019, we've really been able to evolve. And really our mission is to just create a supportive community for women entrepreneurs and makers. I think one of the differences between Boston Women's Market and some other markets you may visit around the neighborhood or around the Boston area is a sense of community that we've built. When vendors come to our markets, it's not only about just selling their goods. They've actually become friends. They've actually become partners in business with each other. One of the things that we often reflect upon that has occurred in from 2020, I think you can look at 2020 in a negative light, but I think a lot of our businesses have looked at it as in a lot of positive ways. They've been able to focus on their online sales and growing their online business, where before they were so busy with vendor markets, in-person selling opportunities, that a lot of makers and small business owners, they weren't comfortable with transitioning their business to online. But in 2020, it was something that they were then forced to do. And we were really proud that we were there ready to support them.
The Boston Women's Market is taking place at Uncle Sam's Plaza on Saturday, September 11th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. There will be approximately 15 vendors who will offer a variety of different products and an opportunity to connect and learn. Unvaccinated individuals are required to wear a mask at all times. For ACMi News, I'm Anim Osmani, sending it back to the anchor desk.
Thanks, Anim. The Arlington International Film Festival is partnering with the Roasted Granola to host a series of fall activities. Throughout the month of September, the AIFF poster exhibition will be on display at the cafe, and on the 11th, there is a community event that features live music and a series of short films, including a screening of last year's film festival winner, Sanctuary, which was produced by a very talented Arlington High School student. The event kicks off at 7 p.m. There will be another special event in October with details still to come. It's all a build-up to the 2021 Arlington International Film Festival that takes place, as it always does, in November.
There's certainly a lot to look forward to in September and beyond. But here's a look back at what took place this past weekend. Now, you might think that cats are low maintenance, but really, they need just as much love and attention as dogs. And they are just as talented. A traveling cat show recently visited the region, and they shared what's possible. I've taught my cat Sullivan a few tricks. But if you think that's amazing, Samantha Martin and her traveling troupe of cats can show you much, much more. After delaying the show for a year due to the pandemic, Samantha Martin and her amazing acrocats were able to perform last weekend at the Regent Theater for practically 3 sold-out shows. Based in Georgia, the Amazing Acrocats are a group of rescue cats owned by Samantha that tour the country performing tricks and promoting animal welfare and cat adoptions. The group has been touring since 2009 and have found homes for over 300 cats and kittens. Samantha utilizes clicker training to teach her cats,
which is all positive reinforcement-based training. Anyone can train their cat to do just about anything. It just takes time, patience, and a treat.
They jump through hoops, balance on beams, balls, and even play in the world's only all-cat band, the Rock Cats.
Yeah, go say Claude. All right, say Claude. Different style. All right, say Claude on the guitar. And of course, Louie on keyboard. Like tuning the Rock Cats.
They were recently featured in the Netflix series Cat People, where viewers follow the group's struggles during COVID and learn about the plight of their touring bus, victim to a vicious scam. Their beloved bus decals stripped and the inside, Kitten City, demolished. A GoFundMe page is available to support their recovery. Be sure to check out rockcatsrescue.org for more information on the group and their upcoming tour schedule. Also, pick up a clicker and start having fun with your feline friend. Sullivan, high five. Good boy. You can find the Amazing Acrocats performing this week in Richmond, Virginia, and afterwards continuing their tour to Florida and beyond.
That was literally amazing. Anyway, back in April, ACMi helped Arlington's Director of Veteran Services, Jeff Chunglo, film interviews with local veterans. 7 veterans spanning many years of our storied past were interviewed, from the Korean War right through Operation Iraqi Freedom. Also among those interviewed were Joe and Joan Connor, Gold Star parents. During the interviews, the veterans shared their military experience and their transition back from service and discussed the opportunities they were offered in serving their country. This will form part of an ongoing series to preserve and honor the service of local veterans. The videos are available for viewing on ACMi's public channel as well as on our website, acmi.tv. Nice job, Jeff, on your amazing and informative tributes. And that will do it for this week. For everyone here at ACMi News, thanks for joining us. I'm James Milan.
And I'm Katie Chang. We'll see you next time.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMI Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.